Hey everybody, welcome to Mortuary Files. My name's Rick. I was a funeral director for over 35 years, also a crematory operator and an embalmer. And this fellow over here is my big brother Randy.
Hey everyone, my name is Randy, and I'm just a nobody. And if you ask Rick, he'll tell you I am a nobody, ain't I?
Well, you said it, not me. You ain't a nobody. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know how to do all this. He puts all this together. I just sit here and answer questions.
We want to let everyone know we are on Patreon, we are on YouTube, we are on Rumble, we are on Spotify. If you'd like to support the channel, down in the bottom of the description below is our Patreon link. Go down there and click on a Patreon link, and you can see what our tiers are. One of them that we're proud to announce is the first 25 subscribers on
Mhm.
Patreon will get 10 minutes of free one-on-one with the funeral director. Rick will go ahead and he will answer any and all questions for 10 minutes that you
Mhm.
have about the funeral industry. Rick,
You bet. Absolutely. It's our
uh,
kickoff special.
it is a kickoff special. Now, if that's not enough time for you, you just like to hear Dick's voice. And by the way, his name is Rick, but you'll hear me call him Dick because
Yeah,
that's his childhood name, and I
it's
will
a
call
family name.
him I will call him Dick until the day they throw dirt on my
Well,
face.
my name is Richard, but I've never gone by that ever. So,
Only when we got mad at you.
yeah.
Richard. And when he heard that, he was mom would be in the kitchen. Richard, get over here. Boom. Out the front door. He went on his bike and rode off to
Mhm.
Freddie Bridgeford's house or something. I don't know
Yeah,
where you ran. I don't even know what friends you had back then because I was never home. Even when
I
I was
know.
home, I was never home.
Yeah, you were gone a lot.
I was indeed. If you have more questions, need more time, Rick has a little thing up there on Patreon where 20 minutes will get you 20 minutes talking to a funeral director. Maybe you got some issues, maybe you got some problems, maybe you got some questions. You just don't want to talk to a funeral director face to face. Rick's not scary. He doesn't bite, and he'll answer any questions that you have. That's referring to funeral. He's not a grief counselor, but he certainly can tell you how to save money
Well,
and how to actually talk to a funeral director. Rick,
yep. I did serve as a grief counselor a lot, though. That's part of what a funeral director does. Some
I don't
people
think,
just need somebody to talk to.
yeah, all right. If you need to talk to somebody about anything funeral, he's the man. All right. So
Yeah.
this episode is going to be about you. Now, we want to make sure we don't step on our Rick's Oddities session. So if any of these cross over to Rick's Oddities, just say, we got a great one for Rick's Oddity.
That's the
All
fun
right.
stuff, the icky and gooey and funny and
The
weird
creepy
stuff.
and the gooey, the mysterious, and I think I'll even put the full version up on Patreon only, the full version of our kind of sort of our theme song. I always put the full version at the end. I don't put
Mhm.
the video, but I can put the video up there. If you'd like to see a little video I created, is it all right with you?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay.
It'll be all right.
I'll put it up on Patreon because you know what? I'm just the host of the show. I'm the guy behind the scenes. I get everything going, but it's up to him what goes up because this is all about him and my respect for him as a funeral taker. I was really hoping you would have taken care of me, but you ain't going to get that chance apparently, huh?
I'm retired. I retired 2 years ago, and if I knew it was going to be this good, I'd have done it years ago.
All right. What is the strangest thing you ever found on or inside the body you were preparing for funeral or burial?
Well, that's a Rick's oddity story, Randy.
Right off the bat, can you give a teaser? Come on, give a teaser.
All I can say is well, if I give the teaser, it's going to tell you
Yeah.
the hook of the story.
Are we talking about the
Um,
Farmer John story?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
Farmer
Farmer
John.
John. So if you want to hear about Farmer John, we haven't done it yet, but in the future, after you see this one, we'll be putting Farmer John up there. I know the Farmer John story. Not all oddities are funny. Not all, sometimes they may be a little on the creepy side. That's why we're keeping them on Patreon, but they're all just things that you kind of had to shake your head at a little bit.
Like grandmas with real explicit tattoos. Those are fun.
Ah, there you go. Yeah. Another question. Have you ever encountered a body or situation that completely shocked or surprised you? There again, that's Farmer John.
This one's not really an oddity. This was a sad story. There was an airplane crash near
Oh,
our funeral home, and two airplanes were in mid-flight. They were small private planes, and they crashed, and both planes went down, and both pilots died. We only handled one of them, but he was brought into the funeral home. I just assumed it was a plane crash. I thought they usually exploded and fire and the people are consumed, and that wasn't the case. There's another thing that happens if the aircraft doesn't explode. When that airplane hit the ground, I don't know how else to explain it, except this man was compacted. He may have been 6 foot tall in life, but when he arrived at the funeral home, he was about that tall. And it was sad to look. It was hard to look at.
Pretty much still intact.
I think mostly he was there. It was just all, you could see hair, you could see his teeth here, you could see his feet and his shoes sticking out. And
Wow.
I didn't see arms, but everything else was just kind of
Mm.
just like accordion down, flat like a pancake. And I've just never seen that before. That was a one-time thing. And it's just one of those things you always remember is the weird ways that people can die, and just that death is not always pretty. It's not always, warm and fuzzy in your bed. And there's
Not always
bad things
this,
that happen to people sometimes.
and bodies are not always the same.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Every single body's different.
Manner of death.
The body before they die, if they were
Before,
sick
yeah.
a long time, if they're in a hospital on IVs for months, their body's going to be full of fluid. Fluid is not your friend if you die. That fluid's got to go somewhere.
All right. Are there any unusual items family have requested to include in their casket that have made you raise your eyebrow?
I've put all kinds of stuff in caskets. I mean, I put whiskey, I put weed, I put money, I've put um I had a girlfriend come in one time and wanted me to hide her picture in with him, so put it someplace where the wife wouldn't find it. I had that happen.
Well, when my friend Chris, who died of a heart attack, was buried, he drooled over Counselor Troy from Star Trek. And he always said while he was alive, when I go, I want a picture of her in my suit pocket. So I did that. And I put her face down on him, so she laid face down on top of him, and I put it on there and I tapped it and I said, there you go, buddy. You always wanted, you always wanted Counselor Troy on top of you. Now she is. When I did that, was that okay? I just,
Yeah,
I was very
it was
gingerly.
okay as long as you did it to where nobody else knew it was there.
No, I don't mean that. I meant as far as me touching the body, and
Oh, sure, absolutely.
everybody knew that picture was there. Everybody knew,
Okay.
even his wife knew that picture was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. One thing that I would tell people not to do when they're touching bodies is everybody wants to reach over and kiss the person. I don't recommend that.
Why not? 'Cause I seen it,
Well,
but
it hasn't been that long ago
I seen
they
it.
were laying on a table with embalming fluid and blood and whatever, bodies are by, they have bacteria factories. And um, I don't know that anything bad would happen, but I've just seen too much. I'm not going to ever reach over and kiss a body.
I seen him kiss him on the lips.
I mean, it's a bacteria factory.
That's why you wear your protective clothing,
Yeah.
even when you first started, did you wear protective clothing like this? It must have been different back in the 90s.
Well, I've always worn a gown and I've always wore rubber gloves.
You
But
always
when
wore a
things got
gown.
real,
You always wore a gown before you became an undertaker. So let's be right on this, Richard.
this is not true. This is not accurate. Um, but yeah, a gown and gloves always. But if the person died of something contagious, then there's a mask involved and there's goggles. And you're supposed to wear that every single time, but it gets so hot doing that I usually didn't wear everything unless I had more reason to be concerned.
How different is doing it nowadays, your protective gear? How different is it not when you retired from when it was back in the beginning?
If I wore everything that the state required now, or whoever the governing bodies are and that stuff, I mean, you walk around with a moon suit on. It's overkill. But that's what, anytime you get government regulations, it's always overkill. Even during COVID, COVID was an airborne disease. It was respiratory and it was airborne. That's how you got it from one person to the other. But they insist that you wash your hands 20 times a day.
Yeah.
It's airborne. It's not transmitted that way. But they just come up with rules to say they did something.
And you never got COVID from a body, did you?
I did.
You did get COVID,
Yeah, not the first wave, but the second wave I did.
but you don't think it come from a body.
No, I think it came from somebody that was alive. And I was off work for 3 days.
I'm technically a hermit. I don't go anywhere.
Mhm.
I like my house.
You probably didn't get it then.
I did not get it the first wave. I did
Yeah.
not get the second wave. I got it last May when I went to a bikers, where our
Mhm.
parent was holding a biker rally in Washington, D.C. over Memorial Day, which they always do. And I
Mhm.
went there and I got it and I thought I had the flu.
Mhm.
I got the first and second shot. I don't know if it did any good, but that's a story
Yeah,
for something else. But I got
yeah, I
it, and
didn't.
I was surprised that I got it because I don't really go around people,
Yeah.
And the first time I really went around people, I got it.
I had to get it. I would have lost my job if I didn't get it. They forced us to get it.
Well, yeah, and that's why I got it because they forced Lori to get it when Lori was working, they forced her to
Mhm,
get it. And so just to say she got it, I got it, you know.
mhm.
And then we both decided not to get. We took the second booster. Real short story. We took the second booster. Lori didn't have any complications from the second booster. I did. I
Mhm.
got it in this shoulder. About a month later, my shoulder went out,
Mm.
and they believe that on some people, the antibodies that were in it attacks the joints. And so that's
Huh.
what happened to my shoulder. It attacked my
Well,
joints.
I've never heard of that. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they tell me anyway. So what they thought
Okay.
it was. At least it's a specialist that did it. My personal doctor, no. The specialist that I did it, he says it's possible. He says we don't know, but it's possible. He says you had a little bit
Okay.
of arthritis up there. Don't go into the story, but Farmer John surprised you.
He did.
Did that surprise follow him to the casket?
Oh, heck no. I loaned him a pair.
Okay. Oh, nice. Now you threw it out. You threw out a pair. You threw out a pair.
It's okay. That's
You,
the teaser.
have you never noticed anything about a deceased person that made you wonder about their personality or their habits in life? You talked about the lady that had all the tattoos.
I did, and that's an oddity story, but don't always judge a book by the cover.
Yeah, I had a woman that lived next door to me. She was head to toe tattoos. This was the 70s. And I mean, all
Toe
the way down
tattoo?
to, huh?
You say toe tattoo?
Head to her toes.
Oh, okay.
Completely. Not on her face, but on her
Yeah.
neck. And she
Mhm.
was in her 70s. And this was in
Yeah.
1978.
Wow.
And you got to wonder, her name was Jewel too, so
Mhm.
maybe she was a hippie or something. I don't know. But I'd never seen an older woman head to toe tattoos. Of course,
Yeah.
now that's going to be start. I'm sure
That
you've
was
seen.
rare back in those days, but it's not rare anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure that, my second wife got fired for having a tattoo on her shoulder. She wore a dress one time to work that had
Mhm.
string, to hold it. I don't know what the straps. And
Yeah.
uh, she walked in and she turned around. Her boss seen it. They called her right into the office and said, "We don't allow tattoos here. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you're no longer working here." Now you can't find very many people without tattoos. And I'm sure you've seen the progression up until the time that you were 1997, 98, probably few, and now a lot.
Not just with the people that come into the funeral home, not just with deceased people, but with people that want to be funeral directors too.
Yeah.
Being a funeral director used to be a very conservative profession. And so if you walked in, let's say you're Jelly Roll, you know who Jelly Roll is, right?
Yeah, the big guy. Yeah. Yeah.
He's got face tattoos like Mike Tyson's got face
Got a
tattoos.
cross on one of his eyes or something.
If you walk in with face tattoos and you fill out an application and you want to greet the public and it's fine for you, you think it's normal and
Yeah.
accept your expression. Well, that's not considered conservative and that would turn some people off. So before you even hit the door, your application is going to go right over here to file 13.
You
You're not
think
going to be
that's
considered.
even today?
Even today, if you have them, people have them on their hands, they have to cover them with makeup or cover them with a Band-Aid or wear long sleeves. If they have them on their neck, they got to be buttoned up. They
Because
have to hide all that stuff.
I know that if I had to deal with a funeral director, I would not want them. And don't get me wrong, I got tattoos. I would
Mhm.
not want somebody that's tattooed from head to toe to be a funeral director because I want it conservative. I want it.
Yeah, if somebody's working on your mama, you want them to be straight and narrow. You want them to be above board. And a lot of these guys that I know that have tattoos, these are great guys. These are great
Yeah,
people,
I'm sure they are.
you know. But that's not what they're projecting outwardly. Hey, I'm different, I'm unique, I'm, expressing myself or whatever. And it kind of puts some people off. And it's getting less and less, but um you don't want to have tattoos if you're going to be in a conservative industry.
Do you ever get a little grandma in there, and then when all the family starts coming in there, you find out she was, I don't know, maybe an exotic dancer at one time, or she's a hardcore motorcyclist, or she's a mechanic, or something that's just totally different than the person you're looking at.
Yeah. I had a lady that was 75 years old and she wasn't covered head to toe like you were just saying, but she had a bunch of tattoos. And so when they're different, we look at them and read them and see what they said. And, one said, there's an arrow pointing and says, Jerry's playground.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
And I'm just, on and on and on. And you just, when she
can't
got
tell.
dressed, all that was covered up. She just looked like a little old lady.
You can't tell the
Was
book from the cover.
ready to bake some cookies. She never baked a cookie in her life.
Don't you ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet, from your head down to your feet.